What's up, everybody? It's a review, a non-spoiler review of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It is a sequel to Puss in Boots, but yet another spin-off to the Shrek franchise from the character played by Antoni Banderas. That has his own movie, his second movie. Now, if you're brand new to the channel, you've never been here before, do me a favor, subscribe. We're trying to get to 70,000 by the end of the year. I know. We're at about 62 right now. So 8,000 by the time we hit the 31st? Probably not, but give us a shot. Anyway, so this movie, I didn't really know enough about it. I knew it was coming out, and I was like, okay, the first one was cute enough. I don't remember how many years ago it was. I think it was like 10 years ago when the first one came out. I always remember Puss in Boots and Banderas being a pretty funny character from the animated movies, the Shrek movies. So I was like, if it's good, great. Turns out it's pretty great. This is a great movie. It really is. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of heart, and it's unique. And what I mean by that is the animation style. So remember when Into the Spider-Verse came out, and not only that movie won an Oscar, and it was very clever, and it was funny, and it was endearing, but it was the animation style that people were really raving about, how different it was. This is similar to that, with all of those things that I just added, but especially the animation style. It's a blend of some of the normal computer animated stuff that you get, but then there's this kind of comic book animation that they use throughout the film, and it's consistent. I was just talking about the other day about like Ms. Marvel, where the Ms. Marvel style started out with like this Scott Pilgrim feel, and then they just kind of abandoned it throughout the series. But this movie doesn't abandon that style. It sticks with that style, and it elevates it. And there's a lot going on. They don't just try to be, there's always these things in these movies in the fairy tale aspect of Shrek, where they take some of the classic fairy tale characters and they give them something to do. And there's always like this little funny thing, but sometimes they are there just for the joke and they don't really serve the story. That's not the case here. And the one that really stands out to me, well, there's a few, but one of the ones that really stands out is the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So Goldilocks is played by Florence Pugh, and it is really a great story with what she has to do, the reason why she's with the bears, the reason they're almost like they play like something out of like a Guy Ritchie movie. The four of them, the way that they're on this particular mission to find something. They're all trying to find the last wish. They're trying to find this wish from this map. All in this motley crew of not only the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but then there's also obviously Puss in Boots, and then Kitty Softpaws, who's played by the great Salma Hyek. And it's always great to have Salma Hyek and Antoni Banderas. That's always nostalgic for me from Desperado days and other things. And they also have Harvey Gillian, who plays Perro. And he's the little dog in this, and he's there's always that, when I say the Grogu type of character, but there's always like this, what he is, he's the goodness in this movie. He's the goodness. He's just a sweet little dog, naive, but sweet and just pure, and it's great. And I'll tell you who's another big standout again, and continues to be a standout in animated films. And speaking of Into the Spider-Verse, John Mulaney, man. He was great in that. He was also great in this year's Chipmunks movie, Chip and Dale. And he was awesome in Chip and Dale, and he's fantastic as Jack Horner, who is the villain in this one. And there's just a couple of little lines that he has that there's, he's creepy. He's really creepy looking. The animation for Jack Horner reminded me of something of Todd McFarlane's Spawn series that was on HBO, the animated series back in the day. It reminded me he would have been in something like that. But there's the types of characters that I mentioned with the humor, but it still plays into it, was like there's a Jiminy Cricket. What's his name? I think it's Jiminy Cricket. Sorry, Jeremy Cricket. Jiminy Cricket. And he's in there, but there's a reason he's in there. The overall story is that Puss is down to his last life, and he has to go on this adventure to try to find this wish so he can wish for his lives back, because there is the Wagner Moura plays the big bad wolf, who's essentially death. And he's like this Clint Eastwood type of character who's whistling around trying to go after Puss the whole entire time. But Puss has to figure out, is it about him? Is it about this legend that he has absolutely created, and that he is he's always laughed in the face of death. So what happens when death is right at your doorstep? And you know, obviously he's got it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears on one side. It's Kitty Softpaws and Antoni Banderas, Puss in Boots, and then Perro together. The Perrito, I think they call him. So, and then Olivia Colman plays the Mama Bear. Ray Winston plays Papa Bear, and they're on one side. And then obviously you've got the and then you got Horner and his crew. So it's really sweet. It is sweet. It's a great movie to take the kids to. It's also, if you're a fan of the Shrek series, and it doesn't have anything necessarily to do with them, but it's that same. But you know, you feel like you're back in that particular world. This is a great. I was saying for a bit, you know, there's no competition for Avatar because there's nothing really going to be out in the theater. This is kind of counter programming. I remember when, I think it was called Sisters, when Force Awakens came out, and Sisters came out around the same time, and it did really well, because that is something you don't want to go, if you don't want to take, you know, like I can't take my 5-year-old to go see Avatar. She's not going to sit through it, but she'll go watch Puss in Boots. So I would give this one pretty high. I'm going to go 4.5 out of 5. I'm going to go 4.7 out of 5 schmoes. It's really good. It's one of the best animated, if not the best animated film of the year. I mentioned Chip and Dale. That's up there for me as well. So anyway, I just wanted to see what you guys thought. Do you want to see this movie? Do you care about this movie? Were you going to see it? Were you not going to see it? Have you heard the buzz? I think it'll probably be animated. It'll probably definitely be animated, considered it's an animated film. But it'll probably be nominated for Best Animated Film, I would guess. I think it already has been for at least Golden Globes or something, but it'll definitely be nominated for the Oscar. I think it should be. I'm very curious to hear what you think. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. This is the review for Puss in Boots. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. See you next time.